Salam, Phenix Ramadan LJacksun, back in the light of Brazeera Cyber Network. This program today, Marriage, is sponsored by Clay Beauty. And this Clay Beauty is sponsored by Alexandria Monet. Beautiful makeup, beautiful, beautiful artwork, makeup art. Okay, so we're going to dive right into marriage. Okay, now, so marriage keeps society orderly, and when I think about being orderly, when I think about marriage, I think about, some words come to mind: routine, ritualistic, stable, steady, consistent, dependable, and reliable, and predictable. And when I go backwards and I say they're predictable, they're stable, they're steady, they're consistent, they're dependable, and they're reliable. And those are character attributes that one needs, to establish a foundation, a trustworthy foundation for a relationship, because, someone's predictable to some degree, that they're going to yield when it comes to temptation that will jeopardize the marriage, the union. Okay, and so it is that predictability, that stability, that consistency that, creates the balance and this, the system, the foundation for society to create a system that will benefit all. Okay, and that is what we had, and that is what we're losing. In marriage is like the algae in the water. All the other things, the greater lives. It starts with the small things, and then from the small things, that's when all things are the greater things are develop on the small things. So marriage being the foundation of life, you know, and it regulates life, because when men get married, they generally stay on their job longer. When women, just like when a female, becomes a mom, she just slows down her life to accommodate, the family, and you know. So and she stays on her job longer too, you know, because of the family. Okay, so now you knew what to expect. As a child, you knew what to expect as you're growing up, because you see your role models, mommy and daddy. You watch them. You're secure in the home. Because both mommy and daddy are in the home, so that makes you feel the child feel more secure, more stable. Okay. Um, yeah, like I said, especially when both parents are in the home, and in the home that mom and dad worked hard, invested in their little tax dollars, so that hopefully when their tax dollars, would be able to compensate them, the parents, when they retire from the market. Um, okay, so this is part of what we're abandoning when we abandon marriage, you know, and we throw marriage out with the dirty bathwater. No, we throw marriage out with the condom. Okay. Um, now, so that's one of the things we're losing. Another thing that's being lost by not investing in marriage, especially for men, fathers, okay, are losing the relationship with their children. And they got all the they got baby mama drama, because, in some cases, the child support is not even paid, and they talk about the DA service. That's a joke for many women, because I've seen checks where women have received child support checks for 99 cents. And they received 10 of checks for 99 cents. Some checks for 10 cents. Okay, and I don't know what they can buy with 10 cents for 10 cents. Okay, some people won't even pick up 10 cents off the ground anymore. Okay, so yeah, so they're really doing themselves a disservice. I mean, you're really doing yourselves a disservice by associating, disconnecting from your child. Okay, more so your child than the finances of providing for that child is more important. Than just being there is more important than the dollar bill. Okay, So you're losing a very valuable relationship. Um, and much of the baby mama drama is because of the child support that's not being promised. Now you know dang well that men know dang well when they were after the bottom line, when they were after below the belt, okay. They were begging and pleading and promising and whatever, 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 and then they, the routine. The baby comes and it's like, it's, see you later. We got to fight for now for the bottom line, for the money, for the child, provide for the child. And like I said, the DA service is not getting it. Okay, men, you're going to have to be accountable for yourself. One shouldn't have to force you to pay for your child. Okay, because like I said, now the payoff for providing for your child, that's what's really important. The relationship you establish with your child is really what you're losing, okay, by thinking that the money is the most important thing when it's not. It's the love for the child that the child really needs. Okay, and then if mama shows the child that they only got 99 cents for 6 months or 10 cents for 6 months to that child, you think about how that child's going to feel about you, okay? Now, and sometimes vice versa. Sometimes daddies are taking care of babies, but the majority is mommies, okay? Now, okay, so that's what he said. Fathers are losing relationships with their children. Now, I know there are women out there that the fathers can't see their children and all that. Those are different issues, but the overall situation is babies are going fatherless, okay? Now, and they're losing their relationship with their children. Okay, so, and that's where they get a lot of baby mama drama. Okay, now, so, okay, and then sometimes you got more than one baby mama, so, and while, we're not condemning for that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you have 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you establish that relationship with your child. That's what's really, really, really needed. Okay? And we're going to see why, as I said. Now, by not marrying, then they're losing this relationship. We don't want the child, woman no more, don't want the child. Okay? So that's not what it's about. Okay, so what do we say with the more than one child? And then, okay. Now, so what do you do? What do you think? Okay. What do we say? Okay. I know I was gonna say. Okay, if you think, some guys say, well, or some guys think, what does what does the baby's mother say to the child about the absent father or the absent parent? Well, it's not so much what the parent says; it's what your absence says in and of itself. What did Tupac say? The absence of his father wouldn't let him cry for a stranger. You know what I'm saying? So that's the type of resentment the absence of your absence, warrants. Or is reciprocated. That's how it's reciprocated. You're a stranger. So that's what they're throwing off too by not having, not being married. Children having last names, but they don't even know who the father is. They can't even see who their father is. Okay, that ain't cool. A child wants to see what part of them looks like their dad, what part of their character is like their dad. Okay, so and marriage is important for children as well as yourselves. Now, and as I said, we're not talking about a good marriage or bad marriage, okay? Because you didn't talk about whether it was good, business, or it was bad business while they were getting it involved, okay? That wasn't the issue, okay? So, so you got to think about what the children are going to say when you're absent, when they get older. Okay, especially when they're you know, when their hunger speaks to them, or their cold, the cold speaks to them. Mama don't have to speak to them. Their empty bellies will speak to them. The cold will speak to them. Not having a warm blanket will speak to them. They're being afraid, when somebody raises their voice towards them, or mama can't handle a certain situation, and mommy's not just enough. That will speak to them. Okay, so okay. So do you now, and think about that. Now, if you got, if a person has a man who has two or more children, in different situations, and he's not there to establish himself as a father, a relationship with his children, or a mother, vice versa, but we're predominantly talking about fathers, okay? Now, now, okay, so you're not home. There's no one home, or no, you're not there to establish that relationship. Okay, that do you really think the child is going to give a lamb's ass about how you are as a when you get old and you need him and you don't have a wife? Okay, you don't have a wife to be there to care for you when you're mature in your maturing years. Okay, and the children don't give a darn because you weren't there. You didn't establish a relationship there. You don't have a home because you didn't pay into a home, because marriage brings about stability. It's like, baby, let's buy a home. Honey, it's time to get a home. Okay? So, and whether you lose a home or not, still you grow from the experience of having one. You grow from the experience of being in a marriage. It's not whether it's bad, good, or indifferent. It's about the experience and how you grow and develop from it. Okay? So not having any children there, and growing old alone, and I'm not saying being alone per se just because you want to be alone. No, being alone because there's no one there who really gives a rat's ass, about that person, because they didn't establish a relationship with their children, that connection with their children. One of the greatest joys in life is watching one's children grow and mature. Okay, and I know there's challenges there too, but there's challenges in everything. There was challenges with you growing. Okay, so that's one of the main things about marriage. It's not so much that, like I said, that's the real social security is for when you get older, when you mature, and you need someone there to kind of just be there, someone to be there, you know. Um, okay, okay, okay. And you can't depend on your parents, because your parents might not, they may have opened the door to the other side. They may have entered the other side. And your sisters and brothers, they have their own families, and 9 times out of 10, if you're, the age, let's say 60 and above, your siblings are 60 and above, and they got their own lives and their own families. So, you kind of, someone to come in and just say hi, or, just to enjoy your family, those whom you invested your lifetime with, rather than having lost it all, having not invested your money. And, you utilize your time in a way that the returns was not so beneficial, when you get older. And then you got to think about this too. That's why I was talking about tax deductibles, because the children, they aid in you saving money. You think you're spending money? No, you pay more out in taxes. Okay, because you don't have any deductibles. No home to get no mortgage to get a deductible from. No children to get a deductible from. No college, school or school credits. None of that. So marriage does pay off, and it aids in saving and investing and starting mom and pop businesses. If you talk about Walmart, and I know that Walmart has a lot of negative business practices, but if you look at the positive aspect of it, they started from a family business, a mom and pop business, you know. So that's one of the ways of securing your finances, your social security as it relates to, you know, someone being there that you can trust, you know, when you, as you mature, especially if you love and treat them well, you know, invest in them, then you can demand them to invest in you, whether they like it or not. Okay? So that's a setup for you dads. You know, all this player stuff, you know, and this woman and that woman, you know, and not paying child support and all this kind of stuff. It's really a setup for you, because think about this. All these women that are having to, you know, take care of their own, if you will, you know, buy their own panties so your ass can take them off, you know, and they're gonna get tired of that. They may do it while they're young, you know, but when they get older, that stuff is not gonna fly after the hardships they experience of taking care of those children. Then once they have gone through the ringer several times and doing that, they're gonna get to the point where when they get 40 something, they're gonna fuck that, forget that crap. I'm not gonna think about. I don't want no man. I don't want no. You know, where was he at when I needed him? You know, and then what? The baby drama problem with the grown kids coming back to your new relationship, if you got one. You know, if she settles down with you, and after she's been through the ringer, and she's not willing to put up with that crap anymore. You know, so you're screwing yourselves. That's why I'm doing this video, to let you know, guys, you're screwing yourself, because you're setting the women up for success, because they're not going to care. You know, they're just not going to care to help you get to the top. Like they say, behind every good man is a strong woman. You ain't got that strong woman, you ain't going to get, you know what I'm saying? You may have a lot of fun, but as far as getting to the top, no, because the end result is going to be slop, not top. Okay, because, you know, the children are going to say, where was dad then? You know, who cared for me when they were hungry, you know? And mom going to say, who cared for me when she needed that day off? You know, that's what it is. It's like that, like the Iditarod, you know, when you're team working together to get to the goal. And she's going to say, who was there for me? You know? That's really why I'm doing this video, to let you know that by you not getting married, it's really a setup for yourself. Because when these women as they get older and they separate themselves from a desire to be in a relationship, a healthy, beautiful relationship, you know, well, they'll still want it, but they will not want to put up with the crap. So there'll be more demand on the guys. And if they're not willing to be as they need them to be, then they're going to, you know, just step over them and go for their goals, and then just forget about the man. And then when he's retired, when he comes to retired age and doesn't have that home, you know, the children to help you know, help him, you know, and he's gonna find himself in a very vulnerable position, is what I'm saying. And if, you know, the women are the majority, from what I understand, women are a majority in society. So if the women are the majority and they gain political power, you know, and economic power, you know, advances, then you need to think about, you know, how are they going to utilize that, exercise that power, having been abused, you know, in a system of abuse and chauvinism and misogyny and all of those things, you know, all those aspects that cause them harm. They're going to try to structure a society that guarantees that those things don't happen to their children, their sons and their daughters. So you're only doing yourselves a disservice. Okay, and Islam says marriage is half the deen, that's half the faith. That's just how powerful marriage is. Now again, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying whether a person has a good one, marriage, or a bad one. But at least, you know, there are some safeguards in a marriage. That's what I'm saying. Okay, and especially it's a good win-win for the children, you know, for the family. You know, so like I said, the greatest loss I can see in the by not married is for men, not women at all. Okay. Okay. So, and don't think you're going to have nephews and nieces there, because 9 times out of 10, if you ignored your own children, you ignored your nieces and nephews too. Okay, so it's gonna be like, who's gonna be there to care for daddy when daddy didn't care about nobody but daddy? Okay, so it's time, you know, to step up and you know, and be daddies, because the children need you. Your children need you. The woman needs you. Really, women. I see a lot of I see a lot of women. And they want to be married. They want to be, and you guys freaking know that. You know they want to get married. So and that's just, that game is just played out. Oh yeah. Also, in the past, males lived longer. Well, females lived longer than the males, and they took care of the males as they were approaching, the entry door, exit door to this dimension, and the entry door to the next, the gray. That's the door. So once they were on their way to the door, through the door, women kind of nurtured them on their way to that door. But if they have nobody and no home and no children to kind of help them. The elderly does need help. Okay? The elderly does need they do the elderly they do need our help. Okay? It's a system of survival, right? Okay. So the women helped the men, because they lived long, because they didn't work in the job market at that time. So, well, they could, but most of them were stay-at-home moms. We'd have this uh, kind of transitional generation where women just, predominantly, work in the market more than they do, than they are stay-at-home mom, because they work their asses off when they get home too. I know, I did that too. So, but anyway, so women are not, the longevity rate is about this, is kind of catching up, or is the same. But nonetheless, in the past, when men, provided for women, they provided, were those financial providers, predominant so financial providers for the family. The women kind of, they were there for them, as I said, they were going through the transitioning. But who's going to be there now? See how you're setting yourself up? And you may think that might not be important, but when it gets to that point, it is. It's very important. If you don't have any alternative life, okay, then well, there is no alternative life other than family. So yeah, and who's going to be with the mommy? The kids, okay, because they're not going to know the dad, and many of them don't even know where they are. Okay, and so, and in that sensitive situation, as the elder becoming, an elder, trust is very important to a person as they mature, and gets, up in their, 60s and 70s and beyond. Trust is very important, because you at that point, it's like, when a person is feeling a bit vulnerable, and I'm not saying at 50 they're vulnerable, because that's pretty strong today still, the life expectancy is longer now, but, so people are still living longer, differently, but longer, you know what I'm saying? So, and I know some probably joke and says because they ain't getting married. No, that's not the case. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, okay, so they helped them. They had someone there for them. Okay. Oh, trust. Yeah. And so let's say the man wants to settle down when he's 45. Okay, that's gonna be building up some trust. And then she got other children, and you're not gonna want to trust her children. Or in the years when your strength is declining. Okay, so having that woman that was there from the beginning, that you know, who was predictable, you can grow old with her and feel secure that she ain't gonna hurt you when, and I know someone gonna think, oh, she ain't gonna do that anyway because she's gonna be strong. Nobody's strong forever. Okay, so that's the thing. The young got to think about when they get ready to mature. Okay, Biologically, they're not going to stay young forever. And when look at the menopause tapes I did, when the body chemistry begins to change, strength begins to change, thoughts begin to change, the dynamics of life begin to change. And you want somebody there you can trust. And you don't know what kind of changes you're going to go through. Okay, so marriage is very, very, very important. And I'm telling you, for you guys, especially, because the women, they gonna get through it. You know, they know, praise be to Allah, they know how to multitask. Okay, and they gonna have their children there. No matter how they, may complain about them, children they gonna be there. But you dads, you're gonna be left out in the cold. And as I said, the population for the male population is declining, so if it's declining, that means women are going to be in charge. So things are changing, so you gotta they gotta keep up with the change. Okay, and marriage is still keeps you ahead of the game, and that's why I did this video, to let you guys know you're being set up. You think you're not giving your money, but you're losing your money to the IRS instead of giving it to your babies. Okay, dads are important. I love my dad. Okay, he did my dad, the best for us children, and he had a lot of us. And he worked night and day, sometimes 2 jobs. Now, I'm not saying that's not what I'm advocating. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But the point is, get a relationship with your children. You're going to need them, whether you like it or not. You're going to need them. You can deny everything else, but you're going to deny the fact that you're going to get, if you're fortunate, you will get old. And if you're fortunate, the best thing is having somebody at least knock on the door saying, hi, how are you doing today? Checking up on you. Even if you don't want them to, it's still nice. Okay? Because we never know what to expect. Okay. Okay, so we said trust is imperative, and that's built up over time. Not okay. We get married at 40 and 40 or 45, and 5 years of trust. It don't work that way. Okay, because you got to get to know that person. Okay. 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 So, and as I said, and if the fathers are not there for the woman to help her with that child that he fathered, and no marriage, and she's left to do abandoned basically, and women, they get tired. I see them coming home tired, trying to be mom and dad to your child. Okay. So, and then they get in a position of administering policy. The first one they're gonna regulate is family. Okay, and we're creeping up on that. Okay, when they govern, they're going to govern with a little less sensitivity. Okay, a lack of empathy. Okay, because they remember how they had to transcend the gender wars, as I said, misogyny, chauvinism, global environment of poverty. They're not going to have empathy for their tormentors. Okay, marriage is important. Okay. Okay, so just Oh, okay, so if you're expecting to get more than what you have contributed, then you have already gone through the door of no return. If you're expecting to get from your children more than you contributed to their life when they were growing up, and you abandoned them, you're seriously gone past the point of no return, because it ain't going to happen. Okay? Because you were not in their dreams, you were in their nightmares. So it's slowly becoming a woman's world. Okay? And y'all better get it right. Globally get it right. Okay? So, okay, so what do you say? If hell has no fury like a woman scorn, then heaven has no place okay. What I said, then heaven has no place like a woman loved, and children, and where her children are happy and can call it home. That's paradise. That's Jannah to a woman. Okay? So think about what it's like, her life is like when, you know, it is, she has to be scorned. Okay? So that's what I want to do on the marriage video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope that you young people can, you younger people can see the advantage of not even you younger people, because you 30-year-olds out there doing this stuff too. Okay, 30 and 40 and, you know, and not getting married. You're only hurting yourselves. You're only hurting yourself. You think you're hurting, well, you're not even trying to hurt anybody, but, you know, but you are hurting yourself and your children. But you're hurting yourself the most, because the children have their future. Okay, they have what you have right now. Your youth. They're gonna have that youth. Okay, you're gonna have that old age and nobody around to even, you know, if you get need somebody to go to the store and get you some vapor rub. You know what I'm saying? So you better take care of business while you can. Okay, and then when those children grow up and get out the home, you can convert that home to whatever you want, but at least you'll have a home, because you will have bought one, because your life was regulated. Okay, so marriage is important. The player era, like the big band era, has gone bye-bye. Okay, it's time to tie the knot. Salam alaikum, Phenix Ramadan LJacksun, and we'll see you next time. Salam alaikum.